Um, Welcome to the very first edition of the new podcast AEGEE Update. I'm your host, Gunnar Erd. And in this hour, we're going to look back at Agora Izmir, talk with main organizer Deniz and Rebeca from the Juridical Commission. We're going to speak with Matthias from the Network Commission about the development of the network and which contexts are going to sign the Commission d'Adhésion. We're going to have a look at the open calls for the Summer University and look back at recent anniversaries. But let's dive right into it by talking to Deniz Erpinar, main coordinator of Agora Izmir.
So thank you for your invite. I was the main organizer of the Agora, and previously we were in the board of AEGEE-Izmir. So it all started with a dream, and we applied, and then everything goes really fast.
So you applied like 1 year before?
Yes, true.
And how did it happen? I mean, what was the idea of hosting the Agora?
When we're selected as a board team, we had a meeting, like a organization meeting, and we talk about what is our vision, what we are gonna make, like achieve something, and we all think that Izmir is a good local, so we should like do something more. We were first planning about like a cultural event. Then we realized that after the EPM Istanbul, we saw the atmosphere and stuff, and we just say that, okay, we should organize an Agora. After 20 years, it will be amazing. So yeah, that was like the decision how we did, because we had really good connections with both municipality and corporate. So we said that, okay, let's do it.
You mentioned something interesting because 20 years before was the legendary Agora Izmir in this
Yeah.
5-star resort in what was the name? Where was it? It was not
Altın Yunus in Çeşme.
Çeşme, yes, which is pretty close. It's in the north or something like this of
Yeah, yeah.
Izmir, so not in the center.
Not in
And
the city.
everything took place in a 5-star hotel. So
Yeah.
that was amazing. How was it possible? And was it something like a role model for you to get something like this done?
We talk with the previous core team, like 2001 core team and 2005, sorry. And they were just like saying it was a good chance because Turkey was in a better place, social and politically. Everything was better, and they applied for some grant and they got the grant because the governments they were supporting to young people to make some projects with European related. But now everything is kind of different. We also like dreamed of it, and whenever we talk with them, they said that it was these times was good, and now you're trying to do Agora. They think that it's more hard than before, so they support us really well, like emotionally as well, because we were struggling, and they said, okay, that's fine, and you guys can do it because the time changed and you guys want to do something really nice, so just go for it. Yeah, the time difference sometimes, like whenever we look the photos, we just realize that, okay, the world is not going in a good place, but still we don't want to complain. Our main aim was not complaining, just take action, because otherwise it will be like, okay, the world is going bad, the political situation is not good, but so what, you have to like take action if you want to do something real.
And everything looked really great until suddenly you got the news that you had got less money. You lost the grant. What happened there, and how did you solve it?
It was the problem with the municipality side. Normally, whenever we arrange a place, for example, in summer university or network meeting, municipality was always on our side. And before we applied to Agora, we talked with them. We said that, okay, we're gonna do this Agora event, and it will be a big event, so people gonna come here. And it was like a good vision and stuff. And they said, okay, it's a great event, we can support you. And just before 1 month before, they said that, oh, okay, sorry, you're not our priority, and they just like acting so unprofessionally, even though we talk like different parts of the municipality, and they just disappointed us really. So they promised to give us some food, venue, and the like logistic, not venue, they promised for the accommodation places, gym. And then they just said, okay, we cannot do that. And we just like, okay, we should find another solution, because it was just 1 month before and people bought their plane tickets. So we decided to be transparent with our participants, because otherwise it will be like, we cannot do something other than being a transparent. So we said that we are like struggling, we have a problem in here, they canceled everything, so we're alone now, and we try to find the best way possible. So we managed it, because otherwise it will be like canceled and people already bought their plane tickets. It will be worse than any other scenario. So we did our best, and we think that it was a good Agora, not a bad Agora. So we arranged places, the food, and everything. It was like really quickly and really stressful part of it, but we managed. Yeah.
Completely agree. The solution was in the end to have this dance studio as
Yeah.
location, where people had to move their stuff aside during the day. How did it work in the end? Was everything okay with the showers and with the stuff? Was everything okay, or were
Yes.
there problems? And do you
Uh,
actually still talk to the owners of the dance studio?
it worked well, because everything looks really tidy and stuff, and people didn't lose their uh items a lot. So it was really good, because our lost and found box was pretty empty, because people are always like keeping it tidy. So it was like clean as well. So showers and stuff, I think I didn't like heard a lot of complaints, because we already mentioned that we have like a limited shower capacity and so on. So yeah, I think it was all right. Yeah.
It's one of the participants. I have to tell you that the Agora venue was really good, one of the better ones. And so this university building was really good. Also, yeah, what was really positive was that there were always lots of organizers and helpers around. So basically, you
Mhm.
were just like always 10 people sitting around, being willing to help in case somebody needed something. So we
Yeah.
had a big team, I guess, right?
Yeah, we have a big team. Actually, as a number, I think we were just like 15 or 20 people total, but we are having regular meetings in the term. So when we started at in I think in October we started with our helpers to explain how it is it, how it will be go. And when we first started, it was like 50 person in the first meeting, like telling what is AEGEE and what is Agora, because we don't want to like have helpers that they don't know Agora or they don't know AEGEE. So we we see the constancy. So they come to the meetings. We have like 6 or 7 meetings. So it was pretty nice, because we know them, they know us. Whenever they have some problems, they can come to us, and it will be more smoother, because whenever we have like a problem, they just run for it and they just solve it. So I think that was the key of it, because we bond together really well. We know each other, they know what to expect. Yeah, these are the things.
Really could see that it's really like an antenna with lots of friends. And so, what also was very positive were, of course, like the small things like the sightseeing tour that was
Mhm,
organized spontaneously, which was really good. And
mhm,
yeah, and there was also location close to the seaside was also positive. I mean, the network area meetings took place outside.
mhm.
And yeah, and the party locations were all very nearby. Most of them were in Alsancak. So that's and it was very good, especially also then the venue for the European night was also very good.
Yeah,
Actually, the European nights, what I really don't like about most of them is that everything is so crammed, so that there's no space and you basically cannot move. And here, it was very spacey, so that was very positive. Yeah.
yeah.
Anything that you remember very positively about the Agora?
Uh, for example, European night, it normally we were like agreed with the municipality in a like an old building, and they just canceled, and we found that place, and it was super close to accommodation. So like it was just like less than 1 minute walk, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for like a European night. And also European night place has like some place to chill, people can get a fresh breathe and stuff. So it was really nice. My my highlight moment was, I think, in the opening ceremony when everyone is there. We were dancing together. The band came, and we just like have the okay, it's happening. And I felt the AEGEE spirit the most because people, they're just like the bands just plays a traditional Turkish music, and then everybody just come together and they dance together. It was magical, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for the people who haven't been there. So the menu was also very like in former factory where the opening ceremony took place, which was the ceremony itself didn't last that long, I think like an hour. But then everybody moved outside where there was dinner, and there was suddenly a band was coming, and everybody was dancing like for an hour. I think they were playing for an hour or so.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
it was, and the weather was perfect. The temperature was awesome. So it was a very nice night, and yeah, I think everybody enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's next for you? I mean, for your antenna, how's life after the Agora?
After the Agora, as a core team, we are like trying to like keep up with life because like we have to like universities to finish, or we have some jobs and stuff. So we are trying to catch everything because now our evenings are off. Like we don't have Agora meetings. It's pretty nice. Like it feels really nice. And as as local, we have hosted a Europe on Track live meeting for like training local. So it was pretty nice, like come together after Agora, because just after Agora, we like met in my house, like we have like celebrated. It was also awesome. But after a while, we have to like go to schools and everybody have their own stuff. And yeah, it was really nice to like come again together. So yeah, as a local now we have like exams. So after the exams, we are going to have one more or two more events, and then the new term will be start. And we have local Agora soon next week, I guess. So yeah, it was really nice because people who joined Agora as a helper or joined as a like a observer in from AEGEE-Izmir side, they were just like so hyped about AEGEE. They said that, okay, how I can be involved more in Europe level or in the local level. So they are like applying a lot of things right now. So it's really nice to like see the impact.
It's great to hear because it happens so often that organizing the Agora is very stressful, and that afterwards lots of people basically leave the antenna and don't want to do anything to do with AEGEE anymore. But for in your case, it's the opposite. So people are super enthusiastic now and want to do more.
Yes, yes, true. Because, for example, Defne will be CD soon, and Berkan is continuing as a network commissioner. So they saw how people can do a career in AEGEE. So it was like a pure example. And the stressful part is mainly we manage the as a core team the site, because they come to Agora, they just yeah we also have stressful moments, but overall they whenever we talk with them, they said that it was a really nice Agora.
Thank you very much, Denise. For the people who could not be there, just a few facts. The Agora took place from 5th till 10th of May. With 260 participants, it was the smallest Agora since 1991, reflecting the development of the network. There were a few organizational problems, as you've heard, but the atmosphere was really great, thanks to the fantastic organizers, the locations, which were all very close to each other, and the very relaxed agenda. Unfortunately, there was a lack of candidates. For 32 positions, there were only 9 people interested in them. Even for the CD, which has 7 positions, there were only 4 candidates. The new president will be Florina Marietta Niago from AEGEE Torino and AEGEE Bucharest. The other 3 CD members will be Sofia Wojcicka from AEGEE Warszawa, Defne Shirin from AEGEE Izmir, and David Midyavia Ayer from AEGEE Leon. Unfortunately, 7 contact antennae had to be deleted at Agora Izmir. AEGEE Le Mans, AEGEE Padova, AEGEE Paris, AEGEE Pisa, AEGEE St. Petersburg, AEGEE Sheffield, and AEGEE Tarragona. That means the network has now only 67 antennae, 19 contact antennae, and 12 contacts. However, there were a lot of positive moments as well at the Agora. For example, several twinning agreements were signed, And the flag auction, which raised money for the Help Ukraine Task Force, raised several thousand euros. Also very interesting was a panel discussion on Saturday morning about different students' associations, which triggered a very lively discussion about the future of AEGEE. We're going to see what's come from that. The next guest in our podcast is Rebeca Urquizu from the Juridical Commission. Yes, hey Rebeca, it's great that you have time on short notice. Where are you right now?
Well, right now I'm in my village in Spain, in La Rioja. It's called Cervera del Río Alama.
So where's that exactly? So where's the village?
It's more or less in the center of Spain, in an area called La Rioja. It's a very small village. Probably no one has heard about it.
So you're not from Burgos?
No, I'm not. I am in AEGEE Burgos, but I'm actually from Vitoria, the Basque Country.
Okay, yes, that's why your family name, I really don't know how to pronounce it. So how do you pronounce your family name, actually?
It's Urquizu.
Urquizu, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, but at the Agora, you were just at the Agora in Izmir a few weeks ago, and there was this running joke about you pronouncing the name of your fellow member of the Juridical Commission.
Yes.
Do you actually know how to pronounce the name, or did you just make up some new versions every time?
She has actually explained to me how to pronounce it correctly a few times, but I'm just unable to do it. It's impossible for me to say it. That's why I just say Huachica.
Huachica, yes, and Huachica, well, it's not that. But anyway, so you're in the Juridical Commission now.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose being in the Juridical Commission?
Well, I am finishing studying law and business management. So I wanted to use the knowledge I have acquired in university to something useful in AEGEE to try and help in some way. So I thought it was the perfect fit for me, thanks to my juridical knowledge.
What did you feel like being the legal expert of the Agora?
I was really scared at first, but during the Agora, I realized it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be, and that I knew more things that I thought I knew. At first, I was super nervous, super scared about saying maybe something wrong, but also chair team and Socia almost they helped me a lot. So it was better than expected. I really enjoy it.
Have you ever read the statutes from the first to the last page?
No, not the whole thing. That's so big. I have them printed and I have studied like what I think are more important stuff. And when they are proposals, we read the articles and whatever are close and important for it. But I have never like sit down and read the whole thing. Never.
It's like how many, like 200 pages or something,
Yeah,
right?
it's huge.
Do we actually need so many rules?
Well, I have my own belief is that we don't need that many rules, but they don't bother, like they are there, so it's not a problem to have them most of the time.
So at the moment, we always have a lack of candidates for the Juridical Commission. So very happy that everybody's happy that you decided to run for the position. Do you think what's the reason why people are not that often running for that position? Are they afraid of the 200 pages, or what's the reason?
I'm not sure why is the reason. Maybe because it's like a really scary to join that way, like officially, like it's a lot of pressure maybe. But we do have some members that have applied after the Agora to be subcommissioners and interims. So we won't be alone in the Juridical Commission. We will have people this year, and I'm super excited about it.
That's very good. But so let's talk a bit about you. You're from Spain. You're a board member of AEGEE Burgos.
Yeah.
But recently you moved to Germany, right?
Yes, I've been living in Germany for 4 months, more or less. I already returned back to Spain, but I wanted to try and learn some German. And as my brother lives there, I used the opportunity to visit him.
How was it like being living in Lübeck, right?
In Lübeck, yeah. It's very in the north of Germany. I really enjoy it. It was a very different lifestyle than here in Spain. Very different at the beginning, but I learned to enjoy the calm. It's more calm in
Okay.
Germany.
So what's the best and the worst part compared to your studying in Burgos, for example?
Well, in Germany, I didn't have that many things to study. I was finishing my bachelor thesis that I'm doing it about AEGEE, actually. So it was really relaxing. I had a lot of free time to go to the gym, to practice jiu-jitsu, and to do my bachelor thesis. And that I think is my favorite part, the calm and the free time. And the most difficult thing maybe it was at first, at the beginning, to connect with the people, because we are quite different. But at the end, I got to connect with them, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, people in northern Germany are very special.
Yes, they are.
I've been living in Lübeck myself for 3 years, so I can tell stories about that. But now you're back in Spain, and as far as you told me before, you're going to Madrid now.
Yes, in September I'm moving to Madrid. I will do my master's, and I'm super excited because I've always lived like in small cities, in Vitoria, Burgos, even Lübeck is a very small city. And now I'm moving to a huge city with a lot of stuff to do, and I'm super, super excited about it.
So you're also going to join AEGEE Madrid?
We are trying to make AEGEE Madrid back to life. I hope we are able to do it. It's kind of difficult because the last board is quite old, but I'm in contact with the last president. So I think we will probably be able to do something with it.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, we had some scheduling challenges to make this interview because also not only because you just returned home to Spain, but you also have some festival in the village.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's very strange. I mean, like you meet people at the Agora. So I was wonder, how is that like? What kind of festival is that, and how is that village like?
So the 9th of June is what we call the Day of La Rioja. So we celebrated the weekend earlier. So today we are having bulls in the street. We are having a popular lunch, live music, and everyone comes to the village because usually it's very empty village during the year, but during weekends and summer, all the young people, we come and we celebrate. So it's like coming all together to celebrate being part of La Rioja. Very typical Spanish.
Thank you very much. That's all for today, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Our next guest is Matthias Heindl from AEGEE and Contact Deventer. He is going to tell us more about the network development. Hello, Matthias. Welcome to our program. Can you tell something about yourself?
Yeah, thank you. I'm very, very excited to be here. So yeah, I'm Matthias Heindl, 25 years old now. Been a member of AEGEE in some way since 2020 when I joined AEGEE Enschede, when I started studying in Enschede. So I am Dutch on one side of the family, Austrian on the other side. So I did come to the Netherlands to study here. Yeah, obviously AEGEE Enschede is one of the bigger locals, and also as a result also one of the bigger associations in Enschede. So I was lucky that it kind of landed on my feet and I became a member, and well, been involved with all sorts of amazing things in that journey. Most importantly, of course, the Agora in Enschede here in 2023, and now as a NetCom. So I think that's who I am.
So basically, you are the perfect AEGEE member because your family has this very international background. Not only that, you have like Austrian father and Dutch mother. Basically, you moved around all of your life. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, my parents met in Vienna. My mom is from the Netherlands, and she was working for the Dutch Foreign Ministry, and so both my parents worked for the respective foreign ministries of their countries in Moscow as well. So my first words were Russian. Unfortunately, I don't speak any Russian anymore. Would love to learn it again, but that's something for the future. Well, and then I grew up in Vienna for a while, and then we moved to Vietnam, where I unfortunately did not learn Vietnamese. Went to an English language international school there, and then we moved to the US. So I spent 4 years in New York, and then I finished high school back in Vienna, and also did a year of Zivildienst in Austria. So yeah, I guess I have a bit of experience in Europe in that sense. I'm a member of AEGEE Wien as well, and which is also we'd love to have more locals in Austria. Who knows what the future holds there? But
So you're coming back to the NetCom, basically. So what was your motivation to join the Network Commission, and what's your task there?
yeah, so oh, the sun is like doing weird things with the light. Sorry. In terms of the Network Commission, well, I first got involved as a subcommie. So I'm trying to remember when it was exactly that I was thinking like, okay, I really should get involved with something at the European level, because it must have been, I don't know, maybe 2024. And I joined the open call and just to become a subcommie first, and I didn't really know what to expect at all. And eventually they made me Bilal's subcommie, and Bilal was the first ever contacts responsible within NetCom. So he was managing the various contacts we have in AEGEE Europe. And at the time that was, I mean, Vesprem was a contact at the time already. Oslo, Stavanger, or not Stavanger, sorry, that's a new one. Vesprem, Oslo, Pristina, and I think Toulouse. I don't know. Anyway, so I was Bilal's subcommie at the time. I joined a few of those meetings. I even had 1 or 2 meetings, even without Bilal, just for updates with some of those contacts. And I really enjoyed that. And basically, when Bilal applied for CD, I wasn't even thinking about, okay, I'm gonna be his successor, until I was explicitly asked by Elise and by Bilal, like, hey, why don't you become interim netcommie? Because I hadn't applied for it in Bilbao. But then after Bilbao, I was like, sure, I'd love to become a netcommie, and I'd love to become a netcommie with the same role as Bilal had. So working with contacts, and yeah, trying to help them fully join our network.
So is it true that some of the contacts that we have are going to sign the Commission d'Adhésion this autumn?
Well, it's not true until it happens, but I'm very, very, very optimistic about the fact that that will work out. We have a very, very amazing contact in Sarajevo right now. They're doing amazing work. I've already been speaking to a few of their board members, Adela, Ella, Tesnim as well. And now there's 2 more whose names escape me right now. I had my first meeting with those 2 new board members. And every time I'm amazed by the amazing work they're doing and how professional they are. And they've done an exchange with Izmir, or at least they've done half an exchange. They welcomed the members of AEGEE Izmir in Sarajevo. Unfortunately, Sarajevo was not able to attend the Agora in Izmir, and I think they're still working on when they're going to visit Izmir for that part of the exchange. So honestly, the main reason that Sarajevo hasn't been upgraded already is because they weren't able to make it to Izmir. And I told them, look, we would rather have you sign the Convention in person and really make a big party of it in Budapest. So that's one that I'm very optimistic about signing the Convention, if they don't mind me saying that. I know that they aren't formally registered yet. There are still some bureaucratic struggles, but they, if anyone can figure those struggles out, it's, I think, the people that I've spoken to so far. We have a contact in Vesprem in Hungary near Lake Balaton, which is doing really well now as well. for a while it was quite quiet there, but they've managed to pick up the pieces and really put something together. So Shandor I met with recently, and we'll have a meeting soon with the full board. So they have Shandor as president, and then a secretary and a treasurer as well. And I believe they have statutes ready as well. They're already registered by virtue of a fun historical quirk. So nothing really standing in their way of the upgrade. And 3 of them also attended the Agora in Izmir, which is really nice to see. We have a contact in York, which is doing really well. So it's really nice to have another location in England and in Great Britain again. That's not London. Of course, we're very happy with AEGEE London as well, but we're back in Yorkshire now. So previously we had Sheffield, and now we have York. And I've been having some nice meetings with the team in York, and they've been able to get themselves registered as a society with the University of York. So that's very nice. And so those 3 I'm very optimistic about that we'll be signing and singing in Budapest. And we have a few more that are, maybe, we'll see, but they're young contacts, so there's no rush, with Stavanger and the 2 new contacts in Azerbaijan, Sumkayit and Kuba. So lots is possible. And of course Deventer, which well, I can talk about more, but I'm not sure we'll be able to sign on by Budapest, but maybe the Agora after that.
So you created Contact Deventer, which is in the Netherlands, and but it's there are basically not many students there, as far as you know.
There are quite a few. Well, it's not a big student city in the way that every other Dutch local, I think there's at least twice as many students in that city. So in that sense, Deventer is a smaller student city, and it's a HBO university, so a University of Applied Science, which means that I think there's a higher percentage of people who are living at home as well. So I think living at home kind of makes it more difficult to join certain activities. It's just a lifestyle thing, right? So yeah, it is smaller than the other Dutch cities we have. But it's not just the number of students; it's also just the fact that the board, our board, Lieve, Meerte, and I weren't always able to find the time. So we got a nice event going. We had a nice Christmas market trip to Münster, which perhaps we'll have a contact there soon again, which will make such a trip even more fun if we do it again. And then after that, it was very difficult to find the time to organize more events. And then, it is also just the reality that we do not live in Deventer. So that's
talking about yes, they're talking about the future. Where do you see the biggest potential to create new contacts in AEGEE?
Ooh, that's a good question, and one I'm not sure I immediately have the answer to. I think looking at, I mean, first of all, it's in a place that's European minded, and I think I noticed that a lot in Sarajevo, that there's really a big passion for looking towards Europe, and I think we might yet still see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I would love to say in countries where we don't have many contacts yet, but of course the reality is that the strongest potential is when you have someone who moves to a new city and then founds AEGEE there or has heard about it. And so that's why I unfortunately have to use a forbidden word. It's hard for AEGEE to jump across borders in that sense, because obviously you have like opportunities when someone goes on exchange, but yeah, they might only go on exchange for 6 months. So I'm not sure I have a good answer to your question, Gunnar. I mean, it's really the countries where maybe AEGEE is already strong, but maybe missing in a few cities. So maybe like Poland, I mean, obviously we also have a few locals there which are not as strong as they used to be. We'd love to make them stronger again. I think we were also speaking at some point about founding one in Toruń, if that's the name of a city in Poland.
Yes.
I'm not misremembering. So that was an ambition at one point, which I'd love to get back to if we can find people in places like that. And maybe, I guess that's also maybe a focus for the second half of my term, is to look more at where can we do things in cities where maybe we don't have anyone right now, but we can find people who are interested through various ways of contacting them, even contacting the universities in some cases, to see if we can find people who are interested.
Yes. Fun fact about AEGEE-Torun, that existed in the past, and they were the ones who organized the biggest network meeting maybe in all of AEGEE history, with more than 200 participants. So it's they have a very central location. So that should be actually a pretty good point. I think also, what do you think about Germany, Italy? These are places where we had lots of locals before and lots of locals in the neighborhood. So this helps probably a lot as well.
So like, yeah, exactly. Like I just said, it is. Unfortunately, the reality is that it's easier to stay within borders in that sense. But in that sense, we do have a nice network. Our network is strong in certain places in Germany and Italy, and you would hope that we would be able to use that to also strengthen new cities in those countries. And I know that we definitely have a few cities on our radar, me and a few other people in Germany, where we're speaking to people at the university. So I'm not sure how much I can say about that right now, but we have 2 cities on our radar in Nordrhein-Westfalen, if that narrows it down.
So what's the biggest obstacle? Is it like to sell the idea of what people could do, what people could benefit from AEGEE, or what's the obstacle when you want to create a contact? To explain AEGEE in simple words, to what is the problem?
From my experience so far, and so first and foremost as contact responsible within NetCom, but also from my own contact, I have to say the answer really depends on the city. So in some places, bureaucracy might be your biggest hurdle. It might be the issues of being able to host events, having a location, getting permissions, money. In other places, that might not be an issue at all, but then it's really about selling the idea of AEGEE. And so that also depends on what other associations are available in the city. What are students generally into? So I don't think I can give you a single answer. But in general, I would say it's always an issue of motivation. From you're starting from nothing, you're starting from scratch, and so it's a challenge. And I won't deny that it's a challenge anytime someone starts a contact in AEGEE, because it's so. And that's why I have huge respect to anyone who starts a contact, because finding the motivation to gather people and convince them about this thing that is really cool, but that others might not be sold on yet. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of persistence. And so that's why it's important to really be able to find a group of friends, basically, to start the contact, so that you're supporting each other in finding that motivation.
So what do you suggest our listeners now? For example, if they go to Erasmus, should they look around and try to find a basis for creating AEGEE, or do they look for friends that study in other cities? How can they make your life easier or support you? Or how could you support them?
Absolutely. Well, the number one thing I want to say is I don't mean to hand wave this or make it sound dismissive, but it is really easy to start a contact. So that's the first thing I would say, is it's very easy to start a contact. So once you have the contact, then it's kind of about getting the ball rolling. So definitely, if you're somewhere outside your own city on Erasmus, start the contact. Honestly, that's my number one piece of advice. Wherever you see an opportunity to start a contact, right? Because and also in this sense, don't, like I just said, it takes motivation, it takes effort, but also don't be afraid of failing. We already have contacts that have been deleted in the past. There's no shame in creating a new one and then it getting deleted. You tried, even if you fail, and so if you're lucky, you succeed, and then we have a new contact a new contact antenna, and hopefully a new antenna in our network. It is really easy to start a contact. There was an issue on the website on AEGEE.org, or I think, is that our website, AEGEE.org, AEGEE.eu. There's a section called Become a Member, and if you scroll to the bottom, it gives you the instructions on how to contact. There's a link missing there about leaving behind your contact details, but I was gonna fix that with CD, hopefully in the coming week. It is so easy to start a contact, and so anytime you have the opportunity to create one, I would say go for it. Like, yeah, you're on Erasmus somewhere, and you have a group of friends, and you've told them about AEGEE, and obviously, AEGEE is not a travel agency, but to experience what AEGEE is about, you have to go to events. And so just start the contact, make your friends members of the contact, go to an event with them, or show them what events to sign up for, network meetings, summer universities. There's so many options. And so I think that's my advice is if they have a friend in another city, start the contact for them. And then just if it takes you an hour to travel there, then maybe try to do it once a month if you can afford it. And you can publicize it, maybe find ways to publicize this through the university, contact other associations, see if people show up, and maybe you'll find a group. You can tell them what AEGEE is. You can find a small group of people who are interested who can take it over from you. And if that works out, amazing. We now have a new contact that's up and running. And if you don't find that group of people, then well, that's a shame. And we delete the contact and we try again next time. So
thank you very much. There's finally the last, we make a hard cut. The last topic I want to talk about is that your involvement in this famous Batavieren race, which is a student race. No, it's not. It's only for students, right? In the Netherlands.
It is. Well, yeah.
What is it?
It's a relay race. So it's a relay race consisting of 25 legs. So each team runs all 25, and on each stage you have a different person running for your team. And it's from Nijmegen to Enschede, so obviously two cities with beautiful locals in AEGEE. And so it's like 170 kilometers, just over. So each stage is between 3 and 10 kilometers, but most are around 5 or 7. So should be doable for most people, even if you're not a super trained runner. And so every year, AEGEE Enschede has a team in this race. AEGEE Groningen has often had a team as well, and there's also a combined Dutch AEGEE team. I think it's been Delft, Utrecht, Nijmegen in the past, one team. And this year, because of the Agora happening at the same time, it was Delft, Utrecht, Groningen, and Groningen didn't have their own team. And so, well, I take photos every year. I think it's one of the most amazing student events in the Netherlands, if not Europe. But I think it would be even more amazing if more AEGEANs could experience it. And so I'd love to make it an event next year. So we'll see if hopefully it doesn't happen at the same time as the Agora, the events. The date for the Batavieren race has already been announced. I can check that right now. But as long as the Agora doesn't end up happening, at the same time, then we'd love to put together an AEGEE Europe team. And you told me, Gunnar, it's already happened in the past. I think in
1990 I don't know whether it was even the first time. I saw it in one of the old publications. I was totally surprised after you told me that you go there and take pictures. So it's it's a perfect thing to do something fun. And definitely. So so you have the date for next year?
Well, so I had the date for next year. Let me, if you don't mind me checking it.
We don't really have a spring Agora next year yet, so actually,
well, that's why I'm saying I've been looking into what the procedure will be if we don't have a spring Agora. When the decision will be made in terms of who when I believe there's a new deadline now, end of June, for hosting local, and if none is found, when we will hear the date that will be used instead for an online Agora. The Batavieren race from Nijmegen to Enschede next year will be on 23 and 24 April. So with a bit of luck, the Agora is not at the same time, and we can have two amazing events in AEGEE. One is running from Nijmegen to Enschede, and the other is the Agora, spring Agora, where
Matthias, I don't have any other questions. So thank you very much for being on this show. And thank you very muif
Well, thank you for talking to me, Gunnar. I had a good time. Enjoy your weekend. And
you too.
If you're ever interested in, if you're at all interested in setting up a contact, you can contact me. My name is my Instagram. NetCom is at aegee.eu. Email nd@aegee.eu, I believe, is the email address for the network director, or is it just network@aegee.eu? Any questions you might have, they're all welcome, and we'd love to see more contacts. So if you've ever thought about it, take this as your signal. Now is the time to start a contact. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. In the past few weeks, we could see what happens when a contact is really successful. AEGEE Amsterdam celebrated its 40th anniversary, and the antennae in Poznan and Firenze turned 35. AEGEE Firenze was one of the 12 contacts that signed the Convention d'Adhesion at the Agora in Amsterdam. Its main organizer was Jeroen Hoogerwerf, who's also honorary member of AEGEE Europe, and he is going to tell us more about the anniversary of AEGEE Amsterdam and how he organized the Agora. Let's start. Hello, Jeroen.
Hello, Gunnar. How are you?
Perfect. I'm very happy to talk to you because this is a special year also for AEGEE Amsterdam. You were president of AEGEE Amsterdam. You were president of AEGEE Europe. We were chair of the Agora, and you're one of the honorary members of AEGEE Europe. So
Yes.
you have a lot of stories in your mind. But let's talk about the 40th anniversary. AEGEE Amsterdam turned 40, and you celebrated. So how did you celebrate?
Yeah, we celebrated last week with a party with all the board members of all those 40 years. So you can imagine a lot of people, especially the younger generations, of course, which I consider all generations after the year 2000 as young. And from before that period, actually, only few of us were there. But we were with a nice group of oldies and sharing memories and having a drink. So it was great.
Was it very fancy?
It was nice, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your memories. You joined in 1987, so almost at the start. But one of the main things you organized were the Agora in 1991. So how do you remember the Agora in 1991?
Yeah, we had a conference in Amsterdam in that year on energy, and there was a big conference organized in Rotterdam, Leiden, and Amsterdam. So it was actually a traveling conference. I think it was the first time that something like that was organized in AEGEE. So all the participants of the energy conference went from Rotterdam to Leiden, then came to Amsterdam, and that ended on Friday. And then all the participants for the Agora came in on Friday. And a happy coincidence was that there was a lot of sponsoring for the energy conference, which made it also possible to have a nice budget to organize the Agora.
Although there was a nice budget, the accommodation was very interesting because you had like 500 participants, and they were all lodged with the members. How was that?
Yeah, most of them were lodged with the members. We had a youth hostel where we made the reservation for all the beds that were at that moment available, because we didn't expect, we had not that many subscriptions for the Agora, but there came many more people than we expected. And
Actually, it was like, sorry, yes, continue, please.
Yeah, especially from Eastern Europe, which already opened up, of course, and a lot of new contacts, new antennae had started the year before. And so we had 500 people coming in at the office of AEGEE Amsterdam, which we normally lodge people that time with members. We already did that in 1987 when we had a cultural week, and it's a kind of an obligation for members to lodge people. That's why you become a member, and it was also used, of course, when we went to other cities in Europe, that we were also lodged free. So you didn't pay a fee for that.
Yes.
And as we did not have enough places, which I told you 10 years ago already, apparently, we took our member list and just called people and said, we're sending 2 members to you to be lodged for the next weekend.
So people must be very happy, but
They
also to
must be very
understand.
happy, yeah.
Also to understand, it was the biggest Agora so far, because previously Agoras had usually had like 100, 200 participants.
Yeah.
And it started the tradition of having really big Agoras.
Really big Agoras, actually too big, I think. But a lot of people only came for party, of course, and not for the serious meeting. But we had a nice convention room, the Rode Hoed, it's called, where we did the Agora. You can see it in the pictures. It's a nice old conference hall with a balcony, and so it was a very nice place actually for the Agora itself.
So you have very nice memories of the organization. Were there any problems in doing that except for the big number of participants?
No, not really. No, we also had enough lunch, and actually it was a good atmosphere and no problems actually. No.
That's very good. The content of the Agora itself was a bit more heated. There were lots of discussions about like the changing the election system from the list election system to the individual candidatures of CD members. Do you remember anything of the content of the Agora, or were you too busy with the organization part?
I don't remember any content on this Agora, Gunnar. Sorry. I have been too busy with the organization. I only know that I was a candidate for chairman. And with that, for that election, I have made a presentation. But I know, of course, the discussion on the reduction of the comité directeur. Before that, it was even 32 members, because you had 16 members and 16 suppléants, as they were called. And after that, it became 16 members, and actually that's still too big. But the elections system really changed in Amsterdam by individual election. Only the president and the secretary general were put together.
Yes, before that, it was a list of candidates, which made it harder for people who were not part of that team to become elected. And that's why there was the motivation to change it. Yes. So, but aside from this, the other highlight was, of course, all the people from Central and Eastern Europe which were coming to the Agora.
Yeah.
And lots of them signed lots of these new contacts from the East signed the Convention d'Adhésion. In fact, there were 12 contacts that signed the Convention d'Adhésion, 9 of them from Central and Eastern Europe. So, do you remember something about that regarding the atmosphere?
Yeah, it was a party actually. I think also Turku Aboy became antenna or became contact as well. Antenna.
No, not yes. There were several contact antennae were upgraded there as well. So that was really like a positive atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it was even Budapest and Krakow, and I don't remember exactly all the names, but I know it was really cheering and singing, and it was really a very nice moment.
Yes. But actually, Budapest, I think I looked it up, was already becoming at the president's meeting 1 month earlier, becoming contact antenna. But there were like Annecy, Bari, Bratislava, Cluj-Napoca, Debrecen, Firenze, Kraków, Ljubljana, Praha, Sofia, Warsaw, Wrocław. So a lot of places that really changed the network. And so there's one more thing I want to ask you. After the Agora, there was Queen's Day, because the whole schedule was a bit strange. The Agora started on Saturday, it ended on Monday, and on Tuesday was Queen's Day. Was that also part of, did you have a celebration there as well?
No, the Agora itself was, I think, only on Saturday and Sunday, which was normal at that time to have it for 2 days. Normally the CD prepared on Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday, there was the Agora. But we extended just 1 day because we had our celebration, our 50th anniversary then, I think. Yeah. Of AEGEE Amsterdam, which was known as Master of Celebration. And we always organized a barbecue on the evening before Queen's Day. And that year we had our pub P96, which became world famous. We had our barbecue there. They had also a boat on the on the canal in front of the cafe where we had posted our. I think we had about 5 or 6 barbecues, on which we put our chicken and hamburgers, etc., for 500 people. So it was also a nice
amazing.
organization to have a barbecue with so many people.
So they really all stayed for the celebration.
Yes, everybody stayed. Yeah,
It's really also like a positive sign for the organization.
definitely. Yeah.
Yes, so that's all I wanted to ask you. So yes, thank you very much, and hope to see you another time.
Yes.
Bye
Hope
bye.
to see you then too.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
We're coming to the last topic of this podcast, the some universities. 8 some universities are still looking for participants. You can find them on the AEGEE Some University page. And one of the 8 some universities is the one in Kraków. The title Slavic Sparks Ignite Your Inner Witcher takes place from 18th of July till 30th of July, and there's still 7 spots available. I spoke with Martyna, Stefaniak and Julia Góralska from AEGEE-Kraków about the Some University and about what AEGEE-Kraków makes so special. Okay. Hello, Julia. Hello, Martyna. I'm very happy to welcome you here at our AEGEE Update podcast. And we're going to want to talk a bit about your antenna and your Some University. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. So I can start. I just want to welcome our audience, our viewers and our listeners as well. And we're also happy that we can be here with you, Gunnar. So I'm Martyna. I'm relatively fresh here in AEGEE. I am AEGEE member since last autumn, at autumn 2025. And right now, I absolutely feel the AEGEE-Kraków spirit. So that's why I'm here. I just want to tell you a little bit more in a second. How do I feel here? So yes, I'm absolutely happy to be here.
Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm HR responsible in our team, and officially, I'm a member of AEGEE-Kraków since, I don't know, June 2025, I guess, something like that, but not officially for 4 years, something like that. Yeah, and I'm also the logistics in our summer university core team. So yeah.
Julia, tell us a bit more about your Summer University. What's the title? What's it about? When does it take place? And yeah, let us know a bit more about it.
Yeah, so we choose the theme of Slavic mythology, also mainly because it was an idea from our main organizer, Dominik Kwiecień. And we want to show Europe something that is truly ours, something Poland can be proud of, and something that we can live our participants feeling like they became a part of our culture. Yeah.
And but why mythology? And is it like, how does it take place? I mean, where do you go? What kind of places you go? Can you tell us a bit more?
Yeah, sure. Also one of the main ideas behind the Slavic beliefs that is living in harmony with nature and the elements, and we will tell stories about mythical creatures and figures such as the Leshi, Strzygas, and Południca. Another important feature is the balance between light, represented by heavenly gods like Svarożyc and Perun, and darkness, of course, represented by the underworld god Veles. And ancestor worship also played a central role, and people cared deeply about maintaining good relationships with the spirits of the dead and gave their favor. But of course, we will spend the most time in Krakow, and also the participants will explore the old town, of course, and the Jewish district. So Kazimierz, and they will see some of the city's most famous landmarks, including St. Mary's Basilica, Wawel Castle, and of course, Wawel Dragon. And they will also have the chance to try traditional Polish food like pierogi, of course, and obwarzanek. And the second place we will visit is Wieliczka, famous for one of the oldest salt mines in the world. And finally, we will spend a few days in the countryside, in the village of Wierzbanowa. And yeah, we know that we wrote that this will be in Dobczyce, but we managed to find an even better location, so that we are going to Wierzbanowa.
The mythology part sounds very dark, but it's not like this. It's probably very light and fun, right?
Yeah, sure. Because we also, instead of Slavic beliefs, we also going to do some, I don't know, like we want to spend evenings also around campfires, talking about mythology, but we also want to enjoy plenty of time outdoors, like we want to go kayaking, of course, spend 3 days in a wooded cottages outside the Krakow, so in Wierzbanowa, and take part in many damned parties and activities.
That's a lot of stuff. How much is the fee, and when is the deadline to apply?
Okay, so the fee is 300 euro, and also oh dear, I forgot, 50 euro, I guess, for sorry,
Optional fee.
yeah, optional fee. Thanks. I forgot. I have to check it.
No problem. And the deadline is, I think, 30th of June. Is that correct?
10th of June.
Oh, 10th of June. That means
Yes.
just in just a few days. So
Yeah.
people really have to hurry. Okay,
Yes.
great. Yes, so thank you very much for this insight. And Martina, tell us a bit more about the spirit of AEGEE-Kraków. AEGEE-Kraków is really a famous and big antenna. What do we have to know about that?
Okay, so I can start with the story how I became a member, because I remember last autumn when it was really cold in Krakow and I just started my university here. I moved out. I was looking for people kind of like time to spend with people, but also in a way that I'm gonna improve myself, because that's why I'm here a little bit, kind of. So I found AEGEE, and I absolutely did not know what AEGEE is. So I started to read, and I found out that it's for students, it's for organizing some events, but I didn't know what it means. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna check. So I tried to apply, and I found out that all of the people are welcomed in this organization. So right after, someone from HR, and I think it was the meaning that Julia mentioned, just invited me for like a city game. And it was a part of integration game that HR organizes pretty much every Thursday in AEGEE-Kraków. So I decided to go, and I went there. And first thing what happened were people that noticed me, and they started to be interested in me, just like someone new appeared. So we have to say hi. We just have to tell this person that this person is going to be carried by us, that we're going to care about this person. And it was really honest, and I absolutely felt the spirit since the first city game. And right after this game, I started to go to the integrations that are every Thursday, and that was a time when I started to be a member in AEGEE-Kraków. So I found out that yes.
But Martina, and since then you came a long way. So there was, since I was reading that you were a member of the month of AEGEE-Kraków, and you organized
Yes.
your first event. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, so as you said, I definitely did not want to leave my membership with going to integrations or like only that were absolutely so amazing, but I decided to do something for the organization and for the people here. And so as you said about the member of the month, we organized, me and another coordinator, Nadia, that 3 afternoon workshops. There were 3 days of our afternoon workshops about public speaking. So it was the perfect speaker translating directly, when we invited lecturers who had the lectures for 3 days at the beginning, and then participants that were participating in our event moved to the practical part that me and the second coordinator made. So for example, the practical part was to read really boring texts like PKP, intercity rules, or any other rules with emotions. For example, as a football match commentator, and with a lot of emotions. And then another day, the second day after the lecture, we organized the practical part with the public speech that was about to be serious. So all of the participants started to prepare a really like serious speech, and right after they went on the stage, we started to give the roles to our participants to, for example, cough and interrupt. So we wanted them to be in a stressful situation, and that's how the practical part looked like. So they could kind of manage their stress, and right after they got some feedback. So we had a lot of emotions there, a lot of fun, and a lot of things were going on. And right after, on the third day, we had a final, just the finals, and it was the TED talk with Mówca Doskonały, the perfect speaker, when our participants could finish everything what they learned past 3 days with a final talk, and it could be absolutely everything. That's how they finished, with a knowledge and everything they needed to bring and take from our workshops.
Thank you very much. Yes, do you have anything else that you want to tell about the AEGEE-Kraków spirit, or that something comes to your mind which is relevant?
So I can say that right now we're organizing Summer University, as Julia said, and I absolutely can invite all of the people for Summer University, because as you can hear, AEGEE-Kraków has a spirit, so it's not going to be gone for the Summer University.
Okay, thank you very much. And yes, good luck. And I hope that lots of people are going to apply for your Summer University in the last few days. This, we're concluding the very first edition of our podcast. I hope you had fun. Please send us your feedback. And in case you're interested in being a contributor, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to interview people, or if you even want to be a co-host, send us a message. Thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye-bye.